Hey guys, my name is Dice Rollin. Today we're going to be taking a look at some facts you didn't know about the Christmas horror movie that caused quite an uproar. Silent Night, Deadly Night was directed by Charles E. Sellier Jr. and tells the story of a child who witnessed the brutal murder of his parents by a Santa-dressed felon. Years later, his mental state takes a nosedive, and he goes on a killing spree dressed as the Jolly Man himself. So without further ado, these are some things you didn't know about Silent Night, Deadly Night.
You see Santa Claus tonight? You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Mr. Sim's store, Ira's Toys, was named after producer Ira Barmak. Mr. Sellier Jr. had such a problem with the kill scenes and the gory nature of them that he had editor Michael Spence direct them instead. The axe that comes close to Linnea Quigley's head was real. The ending scene of Ricky saying naughty in an ominous fashion was shot with the sole purpose of it setting up a potential sequel. Perry Botkin Jr. improvised a majority of his scoring as he watched a copy of the movie. He would then replay the film with his scoring and add more layers. As I mentioned in my review, a lot of people weren't happy in the least with this film. Parents in particular disliked the concept of a killer Santa. However, Tales from the Crypt 1972 and Christmas Evil 1980 featured the same imagery years prior. Ira's Toys still stands. It's in Heber City, Utah, and since the filming of Silent Night has served as a hardware store, dance studio, and gym. St. Mary's Orphanage, however, was demolished shortly after the film was shot. Perhaps ironically, the title Sleigh Ride was not used in the Silent Night franchise, but was winked at in Ernest Saves Christmas with the fictional horror movie Christmas Sleigh. For the Blu-ray release, missing footage of the film was found in a TriStar vault. Unfortunately, it was in rather poor condition, so the resulting uncut version of Silent Night features scenes with a noticeable drop in quality. A list of horror franchises featuring the most female nudity was showcased on Mr. Skin late last year. On said list was Witchcraft with 77 scenes, Friday the 13th with 49, Hellraiser with 24, Wrong Turn with 17, Piranha with 16, Hostel, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Halloween tied with 14, and Amityville with 9. Silent Night was not based from a book, like some may believe according to a 1994 interview of Sellier Jr. by Fangoria. The concept for the movie was based very loosely from a script, submitted to producers by Paul Kamey. A few different directors were considered before Charles E. Sellier Jr. was chosen. They included Albert Magnoli, Ken Kwapis, and Sam Raimi. The original title for the film was Sleigh Ride, but TriStar changed it at the last minute to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Silent Night, Deadly Night did better than A Nightmare on Elm Street revenue-wise, at least during both movies' opening week. Silent Night garnered over $161,000 during that time. However, Nightmare quickly surpassed it the following week. Initially, the plan was to give the movie a limited release that would become broader by Christmas. However, due to the protests against it, Silent Night was pulled from theaters after just 2 weeks. Citizens Against Movie Madness was the self-titled group dedicated to getting Silent Night removed from theaters. They had plans to use their victory with the movie to force the film industry to drastically lessen or remove completely the violence in future films. But Cam fell apart not long after Silent Night being shelved. By now we all know that neither Siskel nor Ebert were shy in voicing their disdain for certain movies, horror in particular. During their show discussing Silent Night, Siskel read the names of the companies that own TriStar out loud before saying, "Shame on you." He even spoke directly to the director, producer, and writer saying, "You people have nothing to be proud of." Someone you may not have known had some very strong feelings against this film was Mickey Rooney, but in 1991 he appeared in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. People have theorized that he may have been under the impression that the movie was completely unrelated to the original, as it could have been titled something else during production. Due to all the trouble with Silent Night, Sellier Jr. had trouble working as a director, and thus moved to producing instead. It's not much of a surprise that practically all of the crew and executives shied away from media once the controversy gained speed. However, Michael Hickey claims that he accepted each interview that was sent his way. Apparently, he found the whole uproar to be hilarious and quite fun. He said, quote, "I was in no way chagrined by the controversy. I thought it was great. This is a film that could have sunk like a stone and never been heard from again. And suddenly, it was leading the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. I didn't know how to take that." Robert Brian Wilson was quite embarrassed by Silent Night and the controversy it stirred, so much so that he had told family and friends to not see the movie. But after meeting fans at a screening on the film's 30th anniversary, he changed his views. He now attends several horror conventions and interviews. So those were some facts about Silent Night, Deadly Night you may not have known. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like to let me know. And don't forget to leave a comment down below telling me what other horror movies you'd like me to dig up some facts about. Also, don't forget to share this video to help the channel grow, and subscribe for more videos like this. See you later.